I'm Christy. Today I want to talk about are living communities right for you? So I mentioned in the first post of this series, in my brief research for a topic to write about, I discovered 3 more living communities, none of which are super far from me. Now I've got a link to that post over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted at the beginning of March of 2022. So I figured since I found some new ones, I needed to include a post about living communities in this series. Now, I haven't seen an official definition of a living community, so let me make sure that we're all on the same page when I talk about them. When I mention living communities, I'm talking about organizations that are based around the idea of providing residential services for adults with special needs, including the supports necessary for these individuals to successfully live apart from their families. And when I think of residential services, I include all aspects of home life skills, basic home maintenance like cleaning, laundry, meal prep, those kinds of things, and social skills. This means that these places need to be able to help individuals continue to develop the necessary skills to live as independently as they possibly can. And it means that they seek to help each individual progress in their abilities so that they can move to a less restrictive environment if they so wish. In an ideal world, which we know doesn't exist, every individual would eventually be able to live successfully, completely unassisted and independent of any outside support. By including social skills, training, and opportunities for interactions with the public as well as others with special needs, these individuals continue to hone and improve an area that many face significant struggle in. And as the acceptable parameters change over time, it's an area that's hard to master. Continued practice and guidance are critical for continued growth and improvement. An additional benefit of these organizations is the inclusion of work skills and job assistance programs. When a community adds work environments to their list of provided services, they add an incredibly necessary and valuable service to their roster. Once an individual has living skills, social skills, and work skills, they offer a well-rounded program that addresses all the major components necessary for successful, independent living. Now, over the past few years, I've discovered more and more of these living communities. Some have been from other people, others are from Google searches. Regardless of how I found out about them, I've looked into a lot of them. And they're all across the country. Okay, I have yet to find one in my state, so they're definitely not in every state, at least not the ones that I found so far. But they are all across the country. And in looking at my most recent research again tonight to write this post, I discovered an article that lists 15 different ranches and farms for adults with special needs. Now, I'm shocked, and I'm really excited, because this is one of the most recent focuses AJ has had. And you can be sure I'll be looking into those that are close to me in the not-too-distant future. Now, for the rest of this post, I'm going to assume that you've already decided that a living community is the right place for your loved one. Now, I realize that's not a true statement for everyone reading this, but it simplifies things. Obviously, the first step is to research the options you find and rule out those that won't work for you and your loved one, for whatever reason. Then, once you have a list of possibilities, dig deeper into them. Really dig into their websites. See what services they offer, what kinds of housing. Do they offer different levels of support? Now, this might be a good time to create another form or use the one that I referenced last week. Again, I've got a link to that over on the blog. And that'll help you compare the different communities. And also contact each one directly. Personally, I'd probably start with an email, but you could call as well. I have a list of questions and see what kind of information you can get from them. Again, once your research is complete, start comparing and weeding out the ones that don't measure up. Once you have a list whittled down to a few strong possibilities, it's probably a good idea to visit any that you're seriously considering. Yes, this will take some time and expense, but this is where your loved one will be living, away from you, without constant input from you. You want to make sure that you're confident in the staff, location, and a whole host of other considerations. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot more that I could say on this issue, but I think you get the idea. If this is something that you think is a good option for your family, check it out. I'd be happy to pass on specifics if you need them. You can contact me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. So my question for you this week is this. Have you considered a living community for your loved one? Why or why not? I'd love to hear about your thoughts. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in March of 2022. If you prefer, you can always email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm continuing to do my research and making new discoveries so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.